Hello, welcome to our video series. We're going to talk about time tracking in ClickUp today. So by the end of this, you're going to see we're going to talk about all these different aspects of the time tracking feature in ClickUp. It's really powerful. I really recommend it if you're using ClickUp and you're a relatively small business, or you want to see how much time is being spent by project, or maybe you're a dev team and you want to see how long different features or tasks or testing, whatever it is taking. This is a kind of hopefully a helpful overview of how time tracking works in ClickUp. Again, who am I? I'm Jed. I'm founder of Hydrant.us. You can get our free ClickUp mastery guide for busy CEOs. Go to Hydrant.us. We do a lot of ClickUp setup for people who want to focus on what they're best at, and we kind of help them with ClickUp. This is going to be useful. You can do this yourself. The goal here is to show you really how I think about time tracking in ClickUp and how it can be useful. So first, what I did is I went to a specific list here where I had if I had a list here of different tasks related to a marketing workflow. So what I did is I had this email campaign with new templates launched. So it's just like a typical marketing task, and maybe you have some key KPIs here, channel, whatever it is. And I went in ahead and added the time estimate and time tracked columns. And if you want to add those, you want to go to add the field, you hit plus here, add existing fields, and you're going to see it as hidden in most cases. And you just go ahead and add in time estimate and time tracked. Do not use custom fields for these. These time fields are specifically mapped. They're default fields for ClickUp, and they're mapped to time tracking. So that's pretty important because if you want to see time tracking across all of different spaces in ClickUp, you want to make sure you're using their actual default fields. So what I did is I added in 8 hours for the estimate, and then I tracked 7.5 hours of actual. And if you want, it's important, you can actually hit play on these. So if you want people to use it kind of like a time clock or a timestamp, you can do it that way. Or if you are okay with people more generally adding time, just put in manual, you can do that too. And so it has my time entry here, and I can delete that. So we're good. So the question is, how would I be able to use this time tracked in a way that's useful? Well, one of the ways I'll show you kind of the folder feature. The folder kind of acts as kind of like a great default dashboard, I would say, on what's going on inside the folder. This is a new feature, of course, in ClickUp as well. You can add bookmarks. It's really handy. This is like your dashboard for if you use SharePoint for Microsoft. This is like a powerful version of that, but it's tied to tasks. So what I did is I had added a card, and you can always add a new card, and there's one for time. There's a bunch for time tracking. I had added a time tracking card, and how you set it up is important. So I like to group it by user, but you could also group it by list. If you had a project based on a specific list, and then you could also see it by user or by task. So let's do that. So our marketing team workflow has 8 hours attached to it, estimated, and 7.5 hours tracked. You could also change the time. You could say last 30 days. You could say, this year. If you're doing it project-based, you might do it like, hey, let's see the whole project. And you can kind of see the time tracked versus estimated. So that's really useful. I think there's so many different ways you can use time tracking. I'm going to flip it again to where you're going to see it by folder and then by user. So in the marketing folder, maybe it's the marketing team, we're seeing estimated versus tracked here for this week. You could also organize it by tags. That's really important. So maybe you have a QA tag that you use, and some of your tasks are marked to have the QA tag attached to it. You could also filter by that. So you could kind of get an idea of like, hey, what does feature development cost in terms of time compared to QA? So there's all different kinds of flexibilities here, but I really like the time reporting feature. And in fact, we use it for Hydrant, of course, and it's how we basically pay everyone on our team. So I run a report of how many hours each person ran up on the last 2 weeks, and then I pay them out that way. So in a payroll tool. So hopefully you can see just real quick, estimated versus actual. We talked about that, how to filter by person, the dashboard / folder feature, how you would track by project. And then I showed you kind of the actual functionality of like, how could you edit time, remove entries, et cetera, that kind of thing. I love ClickUp time tracking. We use it. It's one of the best features in the whole program, I would say. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to hit me up, or video requests, please let me know, and I'll try and record something for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, I'm Jed with Hydrant, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.